Erie County Comptroller's office wants a more detailed and accurate tracking of taxpayer-funded and county-owned vehicles. It comes after a recent audit found hundreds of vehicles unaccounted for.
We're joined now by Erie County Comptroller Kevin Hardwick to learn more about his office's push for better transparency with taxpayer dollars. So let's talk about this fleet audit. Can you kind of give us the sort of foundational purpose? Why was it done? This was done as a request from legislator Jeannie Vinyl, right? And she's asking for more clarity.
Actually, no. The committee that she has put together, that she is chairing, is an outgrowth of our response, if you will, to our audit. No, we did the audit because there's a lot of money tied up in county vehicles. There are something like 2,200 pieces of equipment or vehicles. 1,400 or so passenger vehicles. That's a lot of vehicles. Now, that includes the sheriff's office and their vehicles. But it's gotten over the years, there are more and more vehicles. They're more expensive. We're paying for more and more take-home vehicles. There's gas involved in that. And our audit looked at all of that, and I think there's probably a lot of money to be saved. You know, it seems to me that it's the low-hanging fruit. We in Erie County are in good financial shape now, but we're probably only one recession from being in a world of hurt, as would a number of other local governments. And so I think we've got to start making the easy decisions now, or there will be much harder decisions down the road when we have to make a lot of painful cuts and layoffs and the like. And this is about an easy decision as you can make. There are too many vehicles in the fleet. Too many people have take-home privileges, in my opinion. I think our audit looked at this and commend legislator Jeannie Vinyl for setting up a legislative committee to look at revising the policy governing vehicles. And I think that's appropriate because there's the old policy. There's a lot of ambiguity in it, and we have a fleet manager who really doesn't manage the whole fleet because of the ambiguities in the policy, and the independent elected officials basically determine how many cars their people are going to have, and it really is something that we need to take a look at, and the legislature under Jeannie Vinyl is going to be taking a look at, and I certainly welcome that.
And then what happens after they take a look on your end of things?
Well, I think we're in a position where we're a resource for the committee. We went before them last week and we gave them our view on what we did in our audit. And if they have other questions, we'll certainly be willing to answer them. We certainly have some thoughts, but other people have thoughts too. And I think it's good we're all coming together. And this, as I say, this should be an easy decision to save money, and it should save us some hard decisions down the road.
Despite that fact and that people are actually coming together, you are getting some pushback from this. Well, you mentioned the notion of these independent elected officials, like the sheriff's office. That is an independent elected office.
Yeah.
He or she, whoever in the future, gets to make that decision. So what you're asking is, how can we get some language around that so that everyone is kind of under the same umbrella?
Absolutely. Again, that goes to the ambiguities, and it's a problem when you have independently elected officials. I mean, I'm independently elected. You've got the county executive, you've got the district attorney, you've got the county clerk, and you've got the sheriff. Now, I'm the only one without a car, but that's okay. I don't need one. No, and I really don't. Certainly, the sheriff's office, no one would quibble with the fact that they have a lot of vehicles. Do they have too many, though? I think we need to take a look at that as well as the other offices.
And then a part of the audit, you had mentioned that some people were more willing to give you information that you needed. Others were not as helpful.
Well, yeah. The sheriff specifically was a little bit reluctant to share information with us, and he's had his reasons for that, and he's expressed them publicly. I don't necessarily agree with them, but it is what it is, and we did get enough information from him, not as much as we would have liked, but to finish our audit.
There was also some questions about not only the vehicle use and the number of people who are being issued these take-home vehicles, that is, taking them home back and forth each and every day. There was also some apparent abuse. Those are the phrase we're looking, apparent abuse within the fuel system. Is that correct as well?
Well, yeah. Well, whether it was abuse, certainly the guidelines were not being followed. We have an excellent fuel management system, and it provides for accountability and reports and everything like that. but some of the parts of it were turned off. Some of the features were turned off, so people.
The checks and balances?
Basically, things that were checks and balances on the amount of people taking fuel and who was taking fuel. I mean, it was a bit of a mess. Now, it has been noted that after some fuel was stolen a few years ago by county employees, now all of these fuel depots have cameras there. 24 hours are being monitored. Problem is, no one's really looking at that. I mean, unless there's a reason to go back and look at it.
All right. And I do want to mention that Bill Geary has come out. Have you spoken to him since the audit, A? And then B, I have one quick question. He says that, your audit has found hundreds of vehicles potentially missing. He says that's maybe not really the case.
Well, they're not missing. They're unable. We're unable to reconcile them with their sheet and the county's accounting software, SAP, and some other ledgers. So yeah, things don't match up. That's not to say that the vehicles are physically missing, but we can't account for them on every piece of equipment.
Last question. Moving forward, can we expect that taxpayers will have a better idea of what's going on with their vehicle fleet? Do we think this is a process that could take several months or be better on the other side?
Well, the schedule that legislator Jean Vinal has put out, and again, she's chairing this subcommittee, calls for several months. And I think she's taking a good in-depth look at it. And at the end of it, I hope to have a better policy. And yeah, I think there will be more transparency. I think the taxpayers will be well served.
All right, Comptroller, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, Kevin.